Welcome to Global Worlds. Welcome, Alpenbaubordas, your trusted source for breaking headlines, global insights, and sharp analysis from around the world. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. A chill has descended upon Washington, settling over the city like a heavy, unshakable fog. And it has little to do with the January air. The cold that grips the capital is not just in the weather, but in the mood of its people and the halls of power. The political landscape feels more fractured than at any point in recent memory, with uncertainty and anxiety hanging over every conversation. Whispers of dissent have erupted into open defiance, leaving the Republican Party visibly splintered, and President Trump seething with frustration and disbelief. Calls for his resignation now echo within his own ranks, sending shockwaves through a capital bracing for turbulence and the unknown. This is not just another spat. It's the beginning of a reckoning, a moment when old alliances are tested and new lines are drawn. For years the GOP marched in near lockstep with Trump, but that unity is now trembling as cracks widen and loyalties are questioned. Stunning legislative rebukes have seen GOP lawmakers break ranks on healthcare, foreign policy, and even presidential vetoes, issues once thought untouchable. The city is thick with tension. Every corner, every corridor, every conversation seems to buzz with the question, is this a momentary tremor, or the start of a political earthquake that will reshape the nation? The facade of Republican unity is crumbling, exposing deep ideological and strategic divisions that have long simmered beneath the surface. As we dissect this tumultuous week, we'll explore the acts of rebellion, the president's volcanic reaction, and the personal stakes for those daring to defy party lines. These are the forces bringing Washington to this precarious moment, a capital in crisis, standing at the edge of transformation. The first signs of the storm appeared on the House floor, where tension simmered just beneath the surface. The atmosphere was charged, and it was clear that something significant was about to unfold. On January 8th, 17 House Republicans broke ranks and joined Democrats to pass a bill extending ACA tax subsidies, a direct and unmistakable rebuke to President Trump's leadership. The vote was more than a legislative maneuver. It was a bold statement of independence from the party line. This was no minor disagreement. It was a public act of defiance that sent shockwaves through the chamber. The debate grew heated, with lawmakers openly challenging each other and the administration's agenda. The rebellion didn't end there. In the days that followed, dozens of Republicans crossed the aisle again, voting to override 2 of Trump's vetoes, including a crucial water bill for Colorado. The willingness to oppose the president was growing. Though the overrides ultimately failed, the sheer number of defectors marked a symbolic defeat for the White House. The administration could no longer count on unwavering support from its own party. The message was clear. Loyalty to Trump was no longer unconditional. Some Republicans began to openly question the direction of the party and the president's decisions. The dissent soon spread to the Senate, where 5 Republicans joined Democrats to pass a resolution curbing Trump's power to take military action against Venezuela. The cracks in party unity were widening. The resolution's initial success sent a powerful signal to the nation and the world. Patience with Trump's unilateral style was wearing thin, even among his own allies. These acts of defiance were not isolated incidents, but coordinated pushback from a growing faction uneasy with the president's direction. Behind closed doors, discussions about the future of the party intensified. The unity of the Trump-era GOP is fracturing in real time, on the congressional stage for all to see. The once solid front is now marked by open dissent, signaling a new and uncertain chapter in American politics. President Trump's response to the rebellion was swift and furious, delivered of course on Truth Social. Within minutes of the news breaking, his posts began flooding the platform, each one more incendiary than the last. Trump's digital megaphone allowed him to bypass traditional media, speaking directly to millions of loyal followers and critics alike. He unleashed a torrent of anger, targeting Republican defectors with personal attacks and questioning their right to hold office. His words were sharp, often laced with insults and accusations, as he sought to paint those who opposed him as enemies of the party and the people. The 5 GOP senators who voted to limit his war powers were singled out, with Trump declaring they should never be elected again. Their names trended online, as his supporters amplified the attacks, turning these lawmakers into symbols of disloyalty. This public shaming, meant to enforce party discipline, only deepened divisions. Instead of uniting the party, it exposed the rifts that had been simmering beneath the surface for months. Trump's posts painted dissenters as traitors siding with Democrats, leaving no room for reconciliation. The language was uncompromising, designed to draw a clear line between loyalty and betrayal. House members who opposed him faced indirect attacks and retweets from his allies. Even those who tried to stay neutral found themselves caught in the crossfire. As the online pressure campaign intensified, the White House tried to project calm, but Trump's own words revealed a leader feeling betrayed and determined to punish the disloyal. Behind the scenes, aides scrambled to contain the fallout, but the president's posts kept the controversy alive. His rage rallied his base, reinforcing the narrative of a president under siege. Supporters echoed his sentiments online and at rallies, convinced that Trump alone stood against a corrupt establishment. For GOP fence-sitters, the vitriol hardened their resolve, confirming fears about Trump's leadership style. Some began to question their future in the party, while others doubled down, wary of becoming the next target. The gap between the official White House line and Trump's tirades highlighted the chaotic, personality-driven nature of his administration. The contrast was stark. One side, urging unity, the other, stoking division. Instead of quelling the rebellion, Trump's fury only added fuel to the fire. The spectacle played out in real time, with every post and retweet escalating the crisis. The party's internal war was now out in the open, broadcast for all to see, a conflict that would shape the future of the GOP for years to come. The surge in Republican dissent is made more dangerous by the GOP's razor-thin House majority. With just 218 Republicans to 213 Democrats, Speaker Mike Johnson can't afford to lose more than 2 votes. Every vote is now a high-stakes drama, giving immense power to small groups of dissenters. 2 recent blows, Representative Doug LaMalfa's death and Marjorie Taylor Greene's resignation, shrunk the majority further. The loss of these seats has left GOP leadership walking a tightrope. Now, a small faction can hold the legislative agenda hostage, demanding concessions or blocking bills. Speaker Johnson is forced into constant negotiation, unable to rely on party unity. This fragility has changed Washington's power dynamics. Trump can no longer assume his wishes will become law. Dissenters know they have leverage and are using it. The shrinking majority exposes internal fault lines and empowers previously silenced voices. Rebellion is not just possible, it's powerful. The House's stability now rests on a knife's edge. At the heart of the GOP schism are deep disagreements on healthcare and military force. The vote to extend ACA subsidies was a direct repudiation of years of party orthodoxy. Some Republicans now see full repeal as politically toxic and practically unfeasible, prioritizing constituents' needs over Trump's demands. The White House saw this as betrayal, but for the 17 defectors, angering voters was riskier than angering the president. On foreign policy, 5 Senate Republicans joined Democrats to limit Trump's war powers on Venezuela, revealing a strong non-interventionist streak. This faction, wary of foreign entanglements, challenges the idea of unchecked presidential power. The clash over Venezuela is a proxy for a larger battle. Restraint and oversight versus presidential dominance. The open defiance shows the question is far from settled. Beyond healthcare and Venezuela, other issues are widening GOP cracks. Trump's renewed interest in acquiring Greenland, even hinting at force, was met with incredulity and firm opposition from Republicans. On abortion, Trump's suggestion to soften a federal funding ban was immediately rejected by party leaders, showing limits to his influence on core principles. The slow release of the Epstein files has sparked bipartisan anger, with lawmakers demanding transparency and threatening action. These disparate issues, fantastical foreign policy, social policy rifts, and scandal, illustrate the party's splintering focus. Lawmakers are increasingly preoccupied with their own priorities, not just the president's whims. The once solid GOP front is being chipped away by 1,000 different cuts. Looming over every act of defiance is the shadow of the 2026 midterms. For many lawmakers, political survival now outweighs loyalty to Trump. members in competitive districts must weigh Trump's endorsement against backlash from moderates and independents. Breaking with Trump on issues like healthcare is often a pragmatic choice to protect their own futures. The president's threats of primary challenges complicate the calculation, but in swing districts, his anger can be a badge of independence. The current dissent is the opening salvo of the midterm campaign, as lawmakers define themselves on their own terms. The unity of the early Trump years is fraying as re-election realities set in. As the elections approach, expect more pronounced breaks with the White House. Despite the cracks, Trump's control over the GOP remains formidable. The acts of rebellion, while significant, are still a minority. Most Republicans remain loyal, out of belief, calculation, or fear. Recent veto override attempts failed. Most GOP members ultimately sided with Trump. His endorsement is still the most coveted prize in any Republican primary. Crossing Trump risks not just his wrath, but a primary challenge fueled by his loyal base. The White House touts legislative wins to project strength, downplaying dissent as minor squabbles. The power structure still revolves around Trump. The rebels are chipping at the edges, not toppling him. Until a true challenger emerges, Trump remains the sun around which the GOP orbits. As the week ends, Washington remains on edge. The immediate drama may have passed, but tensions are only intensifying. Will dissenters be emboldened, or will Trump's backlash whip the party back in line? Key tests loom: a Senate vote on Venezuela and a looming government funding deadline. A small group of hardliners could easily trigger another shutdown. For the first time in his second term, Trump faces an organized faction willing to defy him publicly. How he navigates this new reality, punishing or accommodating dissenters, will be critical. For the GOP, it's a battle for its soul. For the country, more gridlock and uncertainty. The cracks are real and deep. Whether they widen or are patched over is the question hanging over Washington.